Hey guys, we're at the historic Daydream mine out near Silverton, and I'm going to do the underground tour and the surface tour. Mum and Bub are just going to do the surface tour. And here's a quick look at where we are first. Can't wait, it's going to be awesome. We are heading to the historic Daydream mine where I will be doing an underground tour. It also has fresh tea and scones. Woo! So we'll see what they taste like. Bitumen up until that right turn, then dirt road, but it's pretty compact, pretty easy to drive on. Show you a bit of the country, and then I'll show you what the mine's like when we get there. We're at the gate for the Daydream mine. I'm just getting Mum to open it and then close it behind me. If you ever see a gate in the outback or in the country and it's shut and you need to go through it, always re-shut it behind you. She's gone to the other side. There she goes. So yeah, the historic Daydream mine. Welcome to Apollyon Valley, home to the Daydream mine. Our early pioneers must have endured extreme hardships in the valley east of Silverton to inspire the name Bunyan's destroying angel. Angel of death, also known as the Destroyer. Our early settlers endured outbreaks of typhoid, malaria, septicemia, and miners' complaint or silicosis. Also known as dust of the lung, to our early pioneers who helped shape this beautiful country. There you go. That's a cool little sign with a fair bit of information for you. Miners did have it tough and they had it rough. Poor buggers. The things you see when you're waiting for your tour. Check out the colour of this horse. Hopefully it comes all the way up here. No, everyone. It's a cross between a leopard and a horse. How beautiful is that? Everyone's actually a little bit shocked at how the colours are of this horse. See how close we can get without spooking them.
What did you say?
Don't get kicked.
Get kicked, I heard. Get kicked.
Don't get kicked.
I heard just get kicked. Oh wow. He. Yeah, it looks like a he. It's got a he part. Wow, you're like cross leopard, cross
Oh,
horse.
geez, I told you it was feed time.
Wow. May I have a quick pat? Can I pat you, beautiful horse? Wow.
Yeah, they do know it's feed time.
Yeah.
That is an amazing colour.
Come on, little one.
So first of all, does everyone know what sort of mine this is today?
What sort of?
Sort of what they mined here, yep. What sort
Oh,
of mine
what
is
they
this?
mine.
Silver?
Yep, exactly right. Yeah. So do you know what silver looks like in its raw form?
No.
No. Okay, so you see that shiny stuff over there on the ground? Where?
It's not it.
Yeah, exactly right. Someone told you that, didn't they?
No, I just had a feeling.
Someone told me. Someone told me. No. Alright. So that is exactly right. That is not it. So that is mica, which is silica, and it has 7% zinc in it around Broken Hill and Silverton. So this is a silver mine. Silver comes in a lot of different forms. You get native silver, which looks like, well, some of it looks like wire but bashed down with a hammer. You get silver and galena, which is lead and silver. You can get silver on quartz. You can get just silver by itself. You can get heaps of different types of silver. So this was a galena mine, lead and silver. And It was unbelievable. These guys really knew how to work. They got 970,000 tons of ore out of this place in under 20 years.
Oh,
with a hammer and a chisel.
good grief.
How many
do you
were
do that?
working?
There was only 138 working at the time. There was 500 that lived here and 138 working underground in groups of threes.
That's a lot of ore.
Oh mate, it is a lot of ore, it really is. In under 20 years by hand, crazy, 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 crazy. Over here, which is dead now, but it's growing everywhere, widely in all these hills over here. We've got deadly nightshades, silver nightshades, we've got opiate poppies.
Yeah.
No, that was not
that's
it.
No.
This dead one over here is this one here. The rain on Monday wrecked it, absolutely bloody wrecked it. It was still standing up, but it was dead, but it was still standing up. This wind and rain we had was just...
Knocked it all down.
Yeah. All of them were up in the mountains, stuff like there. We got horehound that used to make alcohol out of back in the day. Look, it's all around here, all around here. So, from 1848 to 1884, they actually used to practice putting opiate on kids' dummies to make them sit there with opiate-filled dummies the whole time to calm them down and not stress the kids out.
Do you want some?
It's literal.
Junkie.
Work.
It's literal, and that's what they did. Unfortunately, medication isn't like it is these days, sorry, so they did have to do that. So this was a year after Silverton, 2 years before Broken Hill. So you see that area over there built out of rocks?
Yep.
That is where the blacksmith used to work with a tin roof over him in 45-degree heat. Over molten metal. Can you imagine that? This guy actually helped build the Silverton jail. So all the metalwork done in that Silverton jail was done by this guy over here. Yeah, do you want to know the crazy thing about this?
Oh,
They
wow.
actually sent horses underground.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these horses would die off. So what happened?
Pit ponies.
Well, yeah, they call them pit ponies because they think that they were small because they had to be underground, and unfortunately they weren't really that small. They were Arab horses. This is actually one of the steepest declines here. This cavity is by itself, it doesn't mix up the rest mix up like a rabbit warren sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So right here would have been a bucket on rails. These buckets can hold 1.5 tons worth of ore. So if you look behind you over there in that tailings pile, you'll see one of those. Literally 1.5 tons. So, right here would have been our block and tackle, which is an old pulley system. And behind you guys again is a whip and whim. It's where a horse would walk around an old barrel and basically pulling this cart up for about 3 or 4 hours a day. Yep, unfortunately horses were a major part of mining back in the day, but they were soon ruled out with steam engines and stuff like that, which made it better. But horses were a major part of travelling and everything back in the day. They were our muscle, everything. What they used to do is to put these horses on their backs, tie their legs up and drag them down these declines and make them live underneath the ground. Just like the men, their eyes and their lungs would deteriorate, so they built a harness and harnessed these horses up and down at the start and at the end of each shift.
Wow. Poor thing.
Yep, so this does join up the rest of the mine. This one is actually called meter small blown, and you will hear me mention this later on in the tour. So right here, that is the exact same cart as this one over here, except for that one's buried by rocks, and it is on rails. So first of all, there's 8-year-old kids underground filling that thing. As soon as that's full, 8-year-olds, yep. As soon as that is full, they're bringing it up to the surface over here to the 14 and 15-year-olds and their mothers. The reason why there's 14 and 15-year-olds are up here because they spent most of their time working underground and are now severely blind and can't breathe properly. So these kids, when this cart is up here, they're pushing it around the back of this tailings pile, all at the back here to a bullock and cart. They'll knock this ore out, they'll sort through it, put all they want inside that bullock and cart, all the stuff they don't need, they'll throw into these tailings piles right here. They'll then take it around to that smelter and get it smelted, which is all seen that on your way in here, that chimney.
So that big chimney at the top of the hill there, that was the smelter. That is what they used as opposed to sending all of their ore to England on a 12-month journey.
So that chimney, that smelter was built 2 years after this was discovered. What they had to do when they first opened up was they actually had to bullock and cart their ore around the back of Mundi to Port Adelaide, put it on a boat, take it to England, and get it smelted in England, which guess how long that would take?
Months.
12 months.
Years, yeah.
So a full year, these guys couldn't pay their people, couldn't do nothing, they had to wait for it. So what they did is they bought coal from England because Australia was bare minimum. We were doing nothing back in the day actually, nothing. So they bought coal from England, bring it back the same way and use it with our mulga tree. That tree over there standing by itself is a 220-year-old mulga tree. It grows a million a year, burns at 1,000 degrees. With that tree and that coal, the coal would last a lot longer. They wouldn't have to travel back and forth from England the whole time. They could finally smell their ore and pay their people on time, which was really good. Really, really good. So yeah, we've actually got a 750-year-old mulga underground as well.
Oh, really?
Look, mate, if that mine was burning down, my boss would probably say that's for me. It's pride and joy.
Oh God.
I'm only joking. The craziest thing about this here, the reason why there's mineralisation everywhere, because all this is all underwater. And on that hill over there where the smelter is, there's a smoothed off sandstone with a hole going straight through it. Because back in the day, that's how high that water was. It's all over.
You hear it.
It's warmer in here.
It is warm in here. Wow. That's just Hessian with, oh, it's plaster really, isn't it?
So what's this? This is a hunter's kit.
So this is actually called a mire, which means temporary shelter. And unfortunately, guys, it wasn't so temporary for these people. So there was 500 people that lived here and 140 working underground at the time. 500 of these people lived in these things. So this is just a whitewash, a Hessian bag with a whitewash over it. We would redo this every 6 to 7 months. So I guess they would do the exact same to get waterproof. The craziest thing about it is on hot days, it actually acts as an insulation, those rocks. It's fairly good.
It would.
Yeah, it is.
It would.
The bad thing about this though, like I said, the life expectancy was 40 years of age. So the reason why is because when these guys are underground, they've got a hammer and a tap. This tap, he's holding it up against the rock face. Someone's hitting it, he's breathing in the dust from that. And then they're doing the blastings, he's also breathing in that dust. So this dust that they're breathing in, so let's say there's a solid rock wall here and another one behind that tree over there. They've just been behind that tree, hammer and tapping 4 holes for a metre. They'd shove it full of black powder, which was gunpowder back then, and then they'd stand around the corner here just watching it. As soon as that's gone off, they've raced around there, the wheelbarrows, the shovels, pickaxes, everything, kicking it all in there and breathing all the dust and silica in, and it was setting their lungs like cement. They get silicosis and they couldn't even lay on their backs to sleep, they had to sleep sitting up. It's horrible. They'll get a rock like this one to match, and they'll get a tree, they'll cut some of it off, they'll lay the branch across it and get 2 or 3 blokes to put their arms over it and kneel down to open up their chest cavities to get that last bit of breath out. Really, really bad. This white quartz rock you see over there, guys, to the left of it, you see trees and that growing. Behind those trees there's actually an old spring, and what these ladies used to have to do is travel over there every day with a horse, a cup and a bucket. They'll collect the very top of this water because the rest of it was murky and yucky. They'll bring it back here, use it for the cooking, the cleaning, all that sort of stuff, because unfortunately the water that was being pumped here was being reused for the mines and not healthy for consumption. So these ladies had to go there every day to collect their water. Yeah, it's different stuff. We've got that contact in Australia to make nuclear submarines. Yeah. Before we even had that, what's the furthest you guys have walked?
96k
In one day?
in 36 hours.
Oh,
Could
that's
create a
alright.
challenge. Yeah.
Oh, you did a challenge. That's pretty good, actually.
I don't know.
I'm a lazy bugger. I walk around shopping centres.
You mean in a...
When these come to Australia, to Port Adelaide, all the business owners like miners, station workers, all that sort of stuff, they rush to Port Adelaide to grab these things, strap their horses and their bullets to these things and walk across Australia with them. Hundreds, thousands of kilometres over mountains, through creeks. Look at these wheels.
That
How's
is amazing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This is a winder. So this winder was actually sitting in that big building over there. And the sign, if you want to have a look at the sign over here, that's the north, the south mine. It went down 2,240 feet in 1937. Yep, so there's
Mining engine.
Okay, so first of all, when this was used, this is the same in Broken Hill as it is everywhere else in Australia, because when you go from one mine to the next, they don't want any confusion. So have a look at those 12 bells. I'll probably have an arm hanging off and they went and pressed 12 bells. I'd press 37 on accident probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? So if let's say you want to go down to level 3, you hit the bell, you pause, and then you hit it again 3 more times to let this guy know you want to go down to level 3. He'd be watching these levels up here while you're getting descended. Once you're at level 3, he'll hit the bell, letting you know you can get out. Once you're out, you would hit the bell, letting him know it's safe to bring it back up. And this guy probably went to bed listening to the bells, if I'm being completely honest. Now this is heavy. We have school kids here 2 weeks ago, and they were pushing this over. Not one of those kids individually could knock it back over. 2 of them could, and not one of them could knock it back sitting, you know, the other way. When the 2 were using this, they could push it this way because it's on a lean. I could even do it. I'll show you right now.
Even you're not 7 years old.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. But from this angle, not one of those kids could push it back over. Not one. No, I had to do it for him.
They're not
And to
conditioned
think that these
for it.
kids back then were 10 times smaller than us, not even as tall as us, nor as wide wide as the kids are now.
Or is fed.
One of those kids were actually 11 years old. He was taller than me, but he still couldn't bloody knock this over.
God.
This mine was discovered by Joseph Meach. Joseph Meach and John Sinclair. Joseph Meach and John Sinclair had a deal that when they found the next claim that they'd mine it together. Joseph Meach unfortunately had something else in his mind. And so Joseph Meach was a prospector and he was based in Silverton at the time. And he, let's just put it this way, everyone back in the day they drank a lot.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah,
the thing.
that's all there was.
Everyone just drank. And unfortunately this guy was drunk. And he ended up between somewhere of Meach's small blow and Meach's big blow, which is behind me. I did show you his Meach's small blow over there.
Yeah.
And it was said this guy was that tired, he cocked up underneath an old mulga tree to go to sleep. And that's why that one's left there, because all the rest were pulled out apparently. So, when he went to sleep, in the middle of the night, like a lot of us, we drink all day and we think, oh, we need to go to the toilet, and wake up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. And that's what he did. While he was going to the toilet, he thought he'd seen loose rock of silver. But he said to himself he was daydreaming. So he actually went back to sleep that night and took off back to Silverton that next day, and over another drink he'd realised what he'd seen and thought, bugger, I better go have a look, you know what I mean? So he jumped back on his horse, he raced all the way back over here, he picked up one of those rocks, and fair enough, he wasn't daydreaming, he actually found loose rock of silver.
Oh.
So he said to himself, holy shit, I'm not daydreaming. He picked up one of those rocks, put it in his pocket, jumped back on his horse, raced all the way back to Silverton to a tent. It's where you claimed all your mines back there. It was just a tent, yep. And he put it in his wife's maiden name. Now Sinclair had found out about this and did try and get it off him. Court was a thing back then. But unfortunately he failed, and Joseph Meach sold this 2 years later to the Barrier Mining Association for £1,000. £1,000 was a lot back then.
Had a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a lot back then, but
yeah,
like I said, they've got 970,000 tonnes of ore out of this place in under 20 years. So you really think that's a lot of money compared to what they got?
Nope. No.
I think he's kicking himself, honestly.
Yeah.
These toms over here, these are called props or talking toms. The reason why they're called talking toms is because this being the igneous mine, which is hard rock mining, when they're doing a blasting, if something's going to fall, pretty much it's going to fall. So what they do is they tell someone to get around and check their back. So they've got this metal pole and they're smashing the roof with it. And what they're trying to do is find a loose or a hollow spot. Once these guys have found that loose or a hollow spot, they've got to try and drill it out, pry it out, or blast it out. Now, if they can't do any of that, they simply put a tom underneath it and forget about it at a later date. At a later date, when the backs, which is the roof, ever gives weight to this tom, you will hear this creaking and carrying on. Therefore, give these guys a warning sort of to get out of that mine or to pay attention to this and go from there. So today when you run underground, if you hear anything creaking and carrying on, start running. No,
Shit, don't tell me that.
Where you're walking is exactly how big it was. They would not want to do any extra work back in the day. So where you're walking is exactly where this silver ore body was. So this is called an incline shaft. It's one of the first holes they built for this mine. The first one's back over here where Meach's small blow is. Big blow, sorry. This was the second, this was the third. They want to get down to level 2, level 3 and really get that ore out of here. That bucket that you can see right there is called a kibble bucket. They're usually full metal when they have a fastener on top like that.
Here we go, going down. Whoa, it's a little down here.
Turn it. So that
I don't bloody well, will you?
not as quick as usually.
Okay, so we'll be going 45 metres underground, which is about 148 feet, I think it is. So, you want the last one, I'm pretty sure?
Yes.
Okay, so this mulga right here is that 750-year-old mulga I was telling you about up on the surface. So that wood goes a mill a year, burns at 1,000 degrees.
Smooth.
Right behind us is that incline shaft I was pointing out on the surface. And then directly above you is that shaft where these guys would smoke that deadly nightshade, descend down and start working. So this is 25 feet down, there's 30 people working at this point.
30 people here.
Yep, in groups of 3. So you see this brown dirt over here. Now this stretches all the way through this whole mine, wherever you go, it's all the way through it. That is the clay layer, so that traps gold, so it acts as a false bedrock in some parts of Australia, but what we were looking for here, like I told you, was beneath that. So if you look over here, you'll see that this line goes all the way through here and all the way down, so directly where we are walking right now is the old galena, which is lead and silver ore body. This is how big it is, this is how wide it was. Okay, so you guys ready to keep going?
Yeah. Yeah. can actually see the sky. Cool.
Exactly like this is how we stood the whole time.
Okay, so what we just come down is called an underlay or a decline. What we are on right now is called a drive. So straight cuts in rocks are called drives. The decline we just come down are called underlays. And the straight down cuts are called shafts, okay? So when I'm talking, I don't always get confused, you know now what I'm talking about. Okay. So, on this drive right here, if you would like to turn around, walk back the other way, knock on the bottom of the tea room and tell them to pass down in the swamp or something like that there, they will.
Oh, really?
No, no. But this leads towards the tea room, so this goes up underneath the tea room. Okay.
Good one.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so you'll see all these declines going down to your right. When they were building these underlays, what they were trying to do is they were trying to figure out which way that level 4 ore body was going. Once these guys found that level 4 ore body, they went back to the surface. I don't know how they measured it. They went to where they thought the level 4 ore body was and dug a shaft going straight down to it and mined it from the surface. And beyond me how they did it, I have no clue. Because when you're travelling underground, the feet is different compared to what you are when you're walking straight. So I don't know how they did it. They were professionals already. So at your feet right here, your knees, you see that clay layer. And then behind this again, half up your back, you also see that clay layer. So this ore body here was at a small point, but one of the smallest points, they had one of these 8-year-olds laying under something that was 18 inches tall, trying to hammer and tap those 4 holes to do that blasting. Now that's unbelievable, guys. I can't believe it. So how he's feeling? He's ready to go?
Yep. Yeah.
So officially he's 45 metres underground right now, which is over 148 feet.
Wow.
Good work. Okay, let's go, guys.
Go team.
So if you like to look up into the roof right there, you'll see that rise. Back up where you've got come out from underneath that rock.
Are you?
There's a big hole in the roof that goes 15 feet from the surface.
Back there, kid. See up there?
Yeah, so that's called a rise, simply just called a rise. So all bodies like veins. When you travel through it could branch off to the left, to the right, up, or even down. And that's just simply called a rise. Now guys, 15 feet to the surface. So this area we are standing in right now was actually one big massive open area. The ore body here was 20 feet wide, guys.
This was 20 feet.
20 feet wide here. If you look up in the back here, you can see it was one big massive open area.
Yeah.
Yep. All backfilled in. So people would have been able to walk all around here, all in between this area. It wouldn't have been so tight as what it is right now. So these toms you see right here, these real big ones, they were pulled out of the creek. That was the last creek on the way in here that has all the cement in it. These guys back in the day used to travel down that creek and pull out these big trees and use them for the toms underground. All this wood here is all over 140 years old, but here the whole time holding back all this backfill.
Wow.
The reason why it's still good is because it's steady 19, 20 degrees underground, no condensation, no nothing, no water,
No
it's
rot.
good. Keeps the wood good. Alright, now ready to keep going.
That's incredible. Whoa, that's a good light. Imagine if that broke. Whew. You'd be crushed.
Watch your head.
Oh, wow. Might be where we go. Wow. Incredible.
Okay. So if it's blue, green, that's nickel. If it's like purple, red or orange, it's because it's been growing the iron and stuff like that. So right here, only reason this is even standing up is it's still stuck inside the rock. So this is, you adjust the pressure there, you push it forward, it'll start drilling. It'll feed the air and water into that rock that you were drilling, knocking it out. Like I said, it was amazing, it was fast. It did the job really well. It was loud, and I can only imagine these Cornish guys would have to reach above their heads to hold onto this thing and wrap their little legs around it and start drilling. Yep, it would be very loud, vibrated very hard, but like I said, what's that compared to breathing all that dust when you're doing the hammer and tap? It made so much, everything so much better, so much easier for these guys. This goes 45 feet down and 35 to the big rock. The big rock, I'll be showing that to you guys, it fell down in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's hard work, isn't it?
Still stuck in the rock. It's a shame they're fake, they're so pretty.
Yeah, worked as hard as they did. Yep, that's unbelievable. Yep.
So did they come up? Did they come up after, like, were they down here like from 7 in the morning till 5 at night, or?
Yeah, for 12 hours on the ground.
Full 12 hours.
Yeah.
So then they'd come back, and then they'd come back up, and then they'd go back down again, and
So
stay
then
7 days a week.
the next people would go underground then.
And then the next people.
Yeah,
would
so
come
it's like shift work, so they'd be doing it. Yeah, so whatever, these guys would have a set amount they have to do throughout that night. So when they are working, they have to do a set amount. If that's not done, then the next group that they come in have to redo that, and then the group after that has to do the previous guys thing. So it's hard to explain, but it's all done by like shifts and stuff like that. So once there's 148 people underground, once they're done and gone, like for their 12-hour shift, the next people will come in as they're making their way out.
Right.
Yeah. So right here you can see some crystallised ironstone. The reason why that is crystallised is because it undergoes extreme heat and pressure, cools fairly quickly and causes it to crystallise. So that is just right here if you want to have a look, right there.
Oh, I see. Oh, God, okay. Oh, yeah, just blocking
So that's the 4th level down here, and it's flooded, and they pump the water up, and it's been feeding the horses that you'll see later for the last 20-something years. I had a few technical difficulties.
Okay, how's everyone going back there? Everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. What's your head?
And they have these batteries on them, and it's bloody heavy. Well, I'm glad we get to go back this way because I did have some GoPro difficulties and missed a chunk of it. But, oh cool. And these are holding up all this backfill craziness.
Thank you.
Still goes. Wow.
I can do 22. Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
oh yeah, it is.
Hey mate.
Big rock. Alright. So, everyone's seen those little kids down there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those kids, after a blasting, were told to get down there and start mucking out. So they got their muck tray, they drag it into that little cavity right there, and they can fill all that rock into that tray. And drag it to where this roller is down here. And then, where that roller is, there'd be a bucket on the pulley system. They'd literally fill that bucket up, pulley it down to level 3, and then straight up out of here. Prepare to get to it's all gone. So, everyone's heard that Cornish pasty?
Yeah.
This Cornish pasty would have a bit of crust on it. Now, with that crust, these guys would hold on to that crust because their hands are filthy dirty, sometimes they're even black. They would eat this pasty, throw that crust on the ground. Now imagine over 140 people doing that. So who's ever seen photos of old miners who've got the bottom end of their legs tied up by wire or rope? If you haven't seen that, you'll notice it after I say it. What that was there for, literally, was just to stop the rats from running up their legs and biting the insides of the strides. That's all it was. That's all it was, because I throw all that food around everywhere, rats come and, yeah. That's what they did.
Now is there. I'm off if they're there.
So what they did is they come up the first cryptids. There's one of your cryptids over here. There's one of the first ones. Right there.
Yeah.
And this hash and bag right here says Daydream Mine, SMC, New South Wales. And so those two over there, they are original to this mine. Over 140 years old. You can picture these kids filling them full of rock and dragging them around these drives and declines where we are right now. This wheelbarrow right here was also found in Meacher Small Blow. So that's over 140 years old. This could have come from England to the Copper Triangle and then walked all the way here with their belongings inside of it. We do not know. The history here is absolutely amazing. Okay. So, have you ever heard of an oggie?
No.
An oggie is a Cornish pasty, so I did just tell you about that.
Yeah.
Now, in England, there's Cornish guys who are working on the tin mines. Their wives are making the Cornish pasties called oggies. Now, these wives would ring a bell and walk across the surface yelling out, oggie, oggie, oggie. And when the miners want one, they'd yell back, oi, oi, oi.
Oh.
That's true.
Is that true?
Literally true. I've had a few English ladies come down here and tell me about it. I read it and I mentioned it to them because I knew they were coming here. The boss told me about it. And I mentioned it to them. She goes, yes, that's true. So unfortunately, how original is Australia?
Yeah.
Not very, is it?
No.
Not very, it's crazy. So, what I'm holding right now is called a pinch bar. They range in sizes and I can show you those in the big rock room. So, what they'll do with this, they tell people to go check their backs after blasting. You do not hold it close to you, nor next to you, hold it out in front of you. Now, pretty much what you do is smack the roof of it. I'm not going to do it hard enough, please. Don't want to scare you. That is solid. And that's not solid. That sounds hollow. So, this being over 140 years later, these Cornish guys are good. They built this with the earth. No reason for this to fall. If you would cut straight through here, this would become a hollow hanging rock and then you would have reasons to panic and you would have to try and pry it out, drill it out or blast it out, one of those things. But being over 148 years later, we are not blasting or doing nothing. It's set where it is and won't move. So we put a top underneath it and just forget about it.
Yeah, we'll just forget.
Also guys, there's silver here if you want to have a look. And I can show you some more. Yep, that's proper silver. Not galena though.
So galena is
Lead and silver.
lead and silver.
So this is a horse here also. It's taken down the harness. This is a much clearer horse. Much clearer printer. Yeah, what a ride.
Oh my God.
We coming in there with you now?
Well, this is going to leave us.
Well, I didn't know he was going up to do something.
Down come first.
There is. Oh, there. Yeah.
Oh, black.
Up there is silver. Turn this off a little bit. Can you see it?
So this is silver, and this is galena.
Yep, it's lead silver and that was just lead.
So it's better than just straight silver more than
Oh yeah, of
galena.
course, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. If everyone wants to, you can have a hole and build weight of them and
Oh, yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's got some weight in it.
Oh yeah, it does. That's why those cards can hold so much.
That feels quite light.
So which one's...
That's the silver.
That's
Oh,
silver?
that's heavy.
Yeah.
And that's the mixture.
And that's galena. Sorry. Oh shit, that is heavy.
This is their light.
Yep. And if everyone would like to, here's a tiny lighter. Awesome. Alright, so this is what these guys are working. Exactly. So your 2 candles would be for three adults and your 3 candles are for 3 kids. They just wanted to make guys last that little bit longer. Which, if I'm being completely honest, it didn't happen. So, right here, this is the setting that these guys work in. So what I'm holding right here, I'll turn my light on real quick so I can show you. This is the tap. This is how they got 970,000 tonnes of ore out of this place in under 20 years. Little flat build end on it. These here are not hammer and tapped holes, these are drilled holes. So every time this is being hit, this guy's simply just spinning it the whole time, acting it as a drill. Now look, they use one of these big heavy hammers, oh shit, for that. Now, I can only imagine if these missed this guy, he would have got septicemia or something. What he would do if he wanted him to stop swinging, he'd put his thumb at the end. No, I'm joking. How'd you go on there? That's funny. So yeah, I couldn't believe that. That many people like actually believe me when I say that. It's funny.
I was gonna say, come on, they would.
No. Not real.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah, so they'd have two guys on either side here, getting into rhythm and swinging at this rod right here. Jesus. Now, like I said, with this was creating a lot of dust. It was doing a lot of damage to these people. It was horrible. So when the air-made drill come out, it was a massive change, and these people could work faster. They wouldn't be having trouble breathing or affecting them or anything like that. It was really good. So you all know that Broken Hill, the union was created here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, the reason being is because the working here was horrible. It was bad. People didn't get paid well. They got treated like shit. It was just horrible. So all the workers were protesting. Now when there was a protesting, all the shift bosses were working, and one of these shift bosses were fairly new. This is my English cricket bat, by the way. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So all the shift bosses were working, and there was 10 of them. One of them was fairly new, and they were supposed to do a blasting. When you do a blasting, you're supposed to isolate off each level so you don't accidentally blast and kill everyone around you when they're not ready. But unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. This guy was new. He was on level 1, and the rest were on the 9 levels below him, still trying to set up and get everything done. This guy was ready. He sat around for a little bit, but he didn't realise what he's supposed to do, so he thought he was doing the right thing by just setting it off. And unfortunately, he didn't isolate off his blasting, and he blasted and killed all 9 people below him. If you haven't been to the Mines Memorial, I do suggest going there. There's over 800 deaths on it, and the information that leads up towards that is just amazing. It's good. It tells you good information. But over 800 deaths, that's crazy. So mining here has always been dangerous, and they've brought the union in because of how bad it was, and people just, it was horrible. This rock behind us is the big rock. So this fell down to 1800. Now if you look at the very top of it, you'll see that it was connected at the back there, see? Yeah. And snapped off. Oh, at the back there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, now this face part here that we're looking at was up in the roof, and the cavity is why we are here, is because it went 10 feet underground. So the cavity we are standing in is because this rock swung down like that, like on a hinge, and landed where it is right now. So this is a false floor. It's alright though, it's all good.
Yay.
You can actually see it from right there, and that where my light is there. There's a hole in the ground there. You'd be able to see it. So when this rock fell, if you were standing on the surface, the whole surface would have felt this thing fall and probably heard it. Definitely. If you were standing at these stairs over here, the concussion of this rock would have thrown you back, broken arm, knocked out, that sort of thing. It would have been a heavy hit. But unfortunately, with things like this, there definitely was someone underneath it mining it for it to fall. There was no other reason being igneous mining for it to fall unless they were doing blastings and mining around it. So unfortunately, there would be someone underneath that.
Oh, really?
Yep, definitely. Definitely.
It's a big bloody rock. So the red bit is the bit that we're doing. About 2% of the mine.
Okay, is everyone good?
Yep.
Yeah?
Well, yeah. Oh, sorry. Everybody good?
Yeah. Oh, I speak for everyone now. We are all good and we're all leaving, so. That's a heavy hammer to swing and hit that. Jeez Louise. That's where we came from. This is how we have to walk now. This is crazy. That's where we went down to start with.
Ready?
Yeah.
All out.
Yep. Really hope I got on film when we were right down. That was 45 metres up. No hope that's on camera.
I'm only 30 years old and I'm past out, don't worry.
Yeah, I couldn't live 12 hours down there.
No way.
No.
Me, no way.
Without lights, though.
No,
just
no,
candles.
Candlelight. With lights, yeah. Without lights, no.
But I suppose if it's nothing, you'd never know any better.
Different, yeah.
Well, yeah.
No.
Can I just say, we have a very privileged life, Lisa.
So if you fart, no.
148 blokes, that's a lot of carbon dioxide.
Those two candles would go up, that's for sure. They had plenty of light. What are you talking about? Yeah.
And my little boy. Light matching.
Yeah, that's it. They were fun.
Right, going to be Scott now.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, mate. Very informative.
very much. That
Yeah, that was
fabulous.
awesome.
So, alright, just make sure you sign yourselves out.
Yeah, that was awesome. I really hope I didn't miss too much of it.
Oh.
I had a bit of a GoPro malfunction. And I just hope it wasn't in like one of the really, really good
Oh,
parts.
good part, yeah.
Probably was.
Oh,
It's always the way, right?
Get him to go down and do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again. That was awesome. I had so much fun.
a lot of people do like it.
I highly recommend that tour. That was awesome fun. I really enjoyed the underground part. Did you enjoy the above ground bit, Mum?
Yes, it was quite interesting.
Yeah, so definitely do it. It's affordable. I think it was only $10 for the above ground tour for an adult.